Good afternoon. So, I have a question for you today. How often do you sit down and take the time to plan your days out? Are you sitting down and purposely taking time each week to think about how you want it to look? What needs doing to get where you want to be, and then actively basing your days around that? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. Is that something you do? Is that something you don't do? Is it something you've tried before? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. If it's something you're not doing, then you're guaranteed to fall into the default of day to day life, the same patterns, getting pulled around by the external world, by people wanting things from you, instead of you doing what's best for you and the vision that you have for your life. And it's not about control. It's about knowing yourself, your boundaries, what matters to you, and being able to adjust your day based on what you want and what you need at any given moment instead of being pulled this way and that. The better you can plan, the more freedom you have. Most people think that planning is inflexibility, it's control, but that's not what it's about. When you know what needs doing, when you're going to do it, how much time it takes, then you can change things. If the shit hits the fan, then you can adjust as needed because you know what was coming next. So you can start to move things around. You know how much time something's going to take. You know where you need to be at any given time. So you can just switch things, you can change things. But if you don't have that, if you don't have that level of knowledge, then you fall into chaos. You can't adapt, you can't shift things around, and then you've got nothing to work with. And that's hugely stressful, you know? So as we start to head into the weekend, instead of just flying through next week and leaving everything to chance, take some time to plan it. Really think about what you want and what you need to do to get it, and then put it down on paper. Plan ahead. And remember that it's not about control, it's about freedom and flexibility and getting ahead rather than letting life dictate the day for you. You can go out and you can design it for yourself because that's what life is all about. It's making choices that reflect what we care about and what we want most for ourselves. And you always have a choice. And it might not always be the one that you want, but there is always a choice. And if you have a plan in place, then you are prepared. And then that can help guide the choices that you make. If you're just constantly flying by the seat of your pants, then you've got no idea. You don't know how to make a decision. You don't know what the best choice is going to be. With that planning and that knowledge behind you, when you are faced with a choice, you are much better prepared to decide based on what you want and what's going to work for you. So it's not just for in the moment, day to day living, it's about the bigger picture as well. One of my rules for life is to hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. And that's what happens when you plan. Either way, you're going to win. If great things happen, wonderful. If bad things happen, you're prepared. You've planned. You know what to do. You can deal with it instead of spiraling off. Things in life happen, and that's enough to deal with without having to deal with the uncertainty of not knowing where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and not actually having any plans in place. It's all about having that balance. And part of balance is preparation. So make the time this week to just sit down, look at what you want for next week, and plan ahead. It doesn't have to be massively detailed, but if you have an idea of what you want out of the week, you can start to put things in place. And if things are in place, then you can change them to suit what's happening to you instead of being a victim to everybody else's demands, being a victim to all the chaos, spiraling, and then feeling like your week has been ruined because you weren't able to adapt, you weren't able to change. Such a simple thing, but it makes a massive, massive difference. It gives you freedom, it gives you choice, and it allows you to make better decisions. So try it this weekend and see how it helps you as you navigate next week. So let me know in the comments how you go with it, and what your planning entailed. And then I'll drop in next Tuesday with another live for you. Enjoy the weekend, get some planning done.